Welcome to the Life Beyond Bounds podcast. I'm your host, Nicki Herd-Walker. On this podcast, I give advice and insights that help you go beyond your comfort zone to embrace life as your greatest adventure, beyond geographical boundaries to explore the world without limits, beyond the confines of the norm to live life on your terms, and even beyond your current limits to unlock a life that is bold, adventurous, and genuinely fulfilling. Together, let's create your life beyond bounds. Welcome to the Beyond Bounds podcast. Today is for those of you who are dreaming of living a bolder, genuinely fulfilling life that makes you feel truly alive. You're over feeling like you're on a hamster wheel, living the same day and even the same year on repeat, passing your family members like ships in the night, making very few core memories, and letting the years go by in what feels like the blink of an eye. You want to be able to look back on your life and say that you lived it well. You slowed down, you connected with those that you love most, pursued your dreams, lived adventurously, and have the stories to prove it. You value experiences over things and time over money, but right now, your life isn't a reflection of those values. So what does it really take to go from where you are now to the life that you're envisioning? Maybe not as much as you think. You just need to focus on the 4 A's that create an extraordinary, fulfilling life. Authenticity, alignment, allowing, and action. So first, let's talk about authenticity. I'm not referring to personal style or personality quirks, although those are wonderful and they make the world more colorful. I'm talking about having clarity on who you are at your core and having the courage to live in alignment with that, not who you think you should be or what you should do. Inside each of us, there are 2 primary forces that shape our decisions and ultimately the quality of our lives: the soul and the ego. And I'll talk about this more in depth in a future episode, but here's what you need to know for now. Your soul is visionary and authentic. It dreams, it imagines, and sees possibilities beyond your current reality. And it's often that source of those quiet nudges or what ifs that feel whimsical or even irrational, but deeply authentic and true. It's the part of you that wants to live boldly, aligned with purpose and fulfillment and what lights you up. Your ego, on the other hand, isn't concerned with fulfillment. One of its primary jobs is to keep you safe. And because it can't see into the future the way that your soul can to know that you would be safe if you pursued the life that you want as well, it bases all of its decisions on what is known right now. So what's familiar now. To your ego, safe equals staying put and not doing anything new or different, ever. Anything new triggers fear, uncertainty, or doubt, even if your current situation is no longer aligned or fulfilling. Living life authentically means asking those hard questions like, what actually matters to me now? How do I define success for myself at this stage of life? What does that feel like? Where have I been chasing goals or expectations that were never really mine? According to the life cycle theory, who we are and what we believe shifts about every 4 years. And I can tell you from my own life, I've found that to be true. You don't become a completely different person every 4 years. But if you think about what you valued most in your early 20s versus your mid to late 20s versus your early to mid 30s, you can probably, and so on, however, wherever you need to come to at this point, you can probably see the shifts that you've made every 4 years. For me in my early 20s, I valued late nights clubbing with friends and Taco Bell runs, neither of those which I could sustain now, but nor do I value as much as many other things that I value now. However, what happens to a lot of people is that they live in a way that is inauthentic and misaligned, chasing those external measures of success that don't actually mean much to their authentic selves. And they do it for so long that they might not even know what they value and want most at this point of their life. Maybe that's you. Their values continued shifting, but at some point they stopped shifting their life along with those. I'm going to go more in depth on this in a future episode, but if you have gotten so used to performing, pleasing or pushing through that you've lost the thread of what lights you up. The most crucial thing that you can do is regain clarity on who you are and what you value most at this stage of your life. Once you're clear on who you are and what you value, the next step is to bring your life into alignment with that. That's our second A, alignment. To get into alignment, you have to look at how you're using your three biggest resources: your time, your money, and your focus, where your mind is most often. What are the thoughts that you have most? Are you thinking about what you don't want any longer? Or are you thinking about what you do want? What are your beliefs about what's possible and what isn't? And what are you focusing on bringing into your life? Because what you think about, you bring about. That's why your focus is one of your biggest resources. Bringing your three biggest resources into alignment with what you identified you value and want most is the key to feeling genuinely fulfilled. If these resources aren't supporting your values and your vision, you're going to feel stuck, off, or unfulfilled, even if your life looks very good from the outside. I'll go into some of my personal stories in future episodes, but I've certainly had times I can tell you where my values had shifted and I was resisting change or uncertain which direction I should go in, and that fear or lack of clarity caused a lot of internal strife. Alignment means asking, is how I spend my time a reflection of what I say I care about? Is how I use my money actually moving me toward what matters to me, or giving me more of what I value? Is it leading me toward the life that I'm envisioning? Are my thoughts and beliefs aligned with the life I want to create, or are they keeping me playing small? And that isn't a term that I really love, but it's something that people relate to, is that you're not really going after what you want. Again, I'm going to go more in depth on these topics individually in future podcasts, but for now, just start with noticing how you're using these resources and where they might be out of alignment with what you really value most at this stage of your life. The next A that will take you from the life that you have to the life that you're envisioning is allowing. Allowing means giving yourself permission to dream again. Allowing yourself to evolve and grow. It means letting yourself want what you really want without minimizing it, apologizing for it, or stuffing it down to be practical. It means being open to the idea that things can actually work out better than they are right now, even if they're already good. There are so many people who stop dreaming at some point in their life, and so many more who are subconsciously blocking what they really want for a variety of reasons. It can be because of fear, limiting beliefs, shoulds, or expectations of others, or having this internalized ceiling on how good life is actually allowed to get. Maybe you've heard of the concept of the upper limit. It's this invisible threshold that we all have, and that caps how much love, success, freedom, joy, etc. we're comfortable receiving. And you start to dream of something bigger, and almost immediately your mind jumps to, yeah, but. So, yeah, but who are you to do that thing? Or, yeah, but what if it all falls apart? Yeah, but what about this career that I've worked so hard on and built up to this point, And those things start to arrive. And so that makes you pause and you tell yourself, you're just being practical. You have responsibilities, things like that. And now's not the right time. And you talk about what you would love to do someday. And that pause just becomes a pattern. So many people say they want something, more freedom, more fulfillment, a more adventurous lifestyle, but they don't allow it for many reasons. We don't allow ourselves to take up space with our desires. We don't allow ourselves to believe that it's possible. And so we never take the action required to create it. And that's the fourth A, action. Because creating a bold, fulfilling life doesn't happen by accident. It requires you to move, not always in big, bold leaps, but in small, consistent, intentional steps that build momentum. Action is about creating a roadmap from the life that you have now to the life that you're envisioning. It's not a vague notion of someday. It's concrete, it's practical, it's knowing where you are, getting clear on where you want to go, and then breaking that journey down into bite-sized, achievable action steps. Some days that might look like researching something that you've been curious about. Other days it's making a connection with somebody who's already in the arena that you want to be in. Maybe it's checking a nagging task off your list that's been weighing you down. Sometimes it is bold, like booking the trip, launching the business, or finally walking away from something that no longer feels right. But action can also be quiet. It's choosing to say no so that you can say yes to what matters most. It's setting boundaries. It's carving out time to focus, think, or rest, because those are the things that support the life that you're building. It involves delegating responsibilities, automating things that give you more time in your life. In my course, Escape the Status Quo, I help you gain clarity on what you value and want most for this stage of your life. Begin taking action to align your time, money, and focus with that, and then create your roadmap and action plan from the life that you have now to the life that you want most. If you are fully allowing what you want into your life, you'll take the action that aligns with that. If you're not allowing it, you'll find excuses or self-sabotage. So I would still say that allowing is the most powerful A, but it certainly requires action as well. Nothing will fall from the trees. You won't receive a call tomorrow out of the blue offering you a way out of your career to travel the world with your family. It requires action. You could potentially, there is something I will talk about in the future of how doors open for you, but you have to already be in the arena you want to be in. So I will talk about that in a separate episode as well. But it takes intention and action. Live authentically, to be aligned, to allow what you want, and to have the to take bold action, whatever that looks like to you. So those are the four A's. And when you do that, you're going to feel lighter, you're going to feel fuller, life's going to feel more alive. Not because everything's perfect, but because you're living it intentionally. You stop waiting, you start moving, and you find that the life that you've been craving isn't actually as far away as you thought. I'll be diving deeper into a lot of the things I mentioned in this episode in the future, but for now, I want you to ask yourself which of these A's feels the strongest for you right now. Which one needs the most attention? Is it authenticity, finding that clarity of what you really want and who you are? Is it alignment? Is it allowing? Is it action? And what's the one thing that you can do today to move just a little closer to the life that you want most? Thank you for joining me today. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming next. And if you want to go deeper, connect with others on the same path, then come join me behind the scenes in our Life Beyond Bounds community on Facebook. I would love to see you there. Together, let's create your life beyond bounds.